What do you do when your puppy has a ton of energy to burn? If they don't get rid of all that pent-up energy, they will start to display some unwanted behaviors like biting and barking and destructive chewing. Who knows? They may just explode. Okay, maybe not, but certainly feels that way, right? There are definitely plenty of other things that can happen too if your dog doesn't get the right amount of mental and physical exercise each day. We want to avoid those unwanted behaviors and health problems. So, in this video, we are going to talk about several exercise options and give you some tips to get rid of all that excessive puppy energy. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. Be sure to hit that like button to let me know you've watched this video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss when another lesson goes live. Before I begin, if you have a brand new puppy and you need immediate training tips, be sure to grab the free New Puppy Starter Kit. The link is in the description below this video. Now, your dog needs the right balance of physical and mental exercise each day so they aren't left with anxious, nervous, destructive energy. Whenever a puppy owner tells me that they're experiencing like an unwanted behavior, I ask them two questions. Have you checked your puppy's batteries, and how much exercise has the puppy received? Unwanted behaviors can stem from lack of exercise, overstimulation, being overtired, and of course, a lack of training. After all, our puppy only knows what we have taught them. A lack of knowledge isn't defiance in a puppy. Remember that. Just because your puppy isn't responding the way you want, doesn't mean they are purposefully trying to upset you. They genuinely don't know what you want them to do, or they physically or mentally cannot perform what you're asking of them. Many times it's because they have tons of energy to burn off before they can focus better. In a moment, I'm going to share the physical activities you can do with your dog, but right now, let's talk about mental exercise. Yes, you heard me right. We can tire our dogs out mentally. Now, the best way to do this is to provide your pup with some daily canine enrichment. This means we allow dogs to play and chase and smell and sniff and chew and paw and scavenge constructively. There are puzzle toys and treat dispensing toys that require your pup to figure out how to get the prize out. You can buy puzzle toys or make your own from things found around the house. You can check out more ideas about canine enrichment activities by watching this video here. You can also learn more about fillable toys that can be used to occupy your pup's attention by watching this video here. You can also tire out your pup mentally by working on training games such as the ones found in our online puppy training course called 30 Days to Puppy Perfection. You can find out more about the game-like training techniques we use to train dogs in the description below this video. Now, when it comes to physical exercise, it is important that you don't push your puppy too much before your pup is physically ready. This means we don't walk them for longer than their body can tolerate or push them to go hiking and climbing before their bodies are strong enough. Too much exercise isn't good for our pups, as they can get injured easily, and this can affect their growth or affect them as an adult dog. Now, you can learn more about puppy exercise safety in our first puppy exercise video here. I do talk about how to avoid damaging growth plates and how long walks should be based on your puppy's age. In today's video, I want to share some alternative exercises. Alright, are you ready? Let's take, for example, the Find It game. This is a great game for dogs of all ages. Get some boxes or find a couple of places in your home where you can hide treats. If you use the box method, you'll take a few of those Amazon boxes you have, or even shoe boxes, and flip them over. Hide some kibble and tasty treats under each one. Space them out so that your puppy has to run back and forth between boxes to search for the prize. In training, we actually use this as nose work exercise or even scent detection. Okay, the next suggestion I'm going to make is a little non-traditional, but it can be a great exercise option, especially if you are dealing with weather-related issues that limit your time outside. However, there is a right and a wrong way to do this. I'm talking about a dog treadmill. It is better to use one specifically for dogs instead of the kind for humans, since the tread is longer. And there are safety rails on the sides, as well as the fact that the controls are typically on the side or the front, where a human can control them. Now, when you first introduce a treadmill to your dog, you will need to go slow. We are not throwing a dog on there and turning it up to top speed to make them run. This is not safe, and it really is a great way to injure your dog. We do have to desensitize them to the machine slowly before we even turn it on. Some dogs don't love the treadmill, so we don't want to force them to walk on it. Your dog should be wearing a harness while walking on a treadmill. We don't clip the leash to the collar. You should also consider stretching your dog before they do any strenuous exercise. Just like we should stretch before working out, our dogs should too. You don't want to cold start an exercise routine of this kind or any routine where our dogs will be running or jumping. We also don't ever tie our dogs to the machine and step away. Now to start, we're going to lure our dog on, give them reinforcement for being on it, and then help them off. No treat is given when they get off. We want to add more value to being on the treadmill, so we only give the treat and kibble when they're on it. We may do this a number of times and then end for the day. The next level may be where we get a pup on and we get them to turn around and stand in the correct position or direction and then get them back off. We are still delivering the treats or kibble each time they are on. This again is not when we turn it on. So many people are impatient and rush the intro process and in turn create a negative association with the treadmill because they rushed. Once your pup has a comfort level with getting on and off, as well as facing in the right direction, it may be time to start them out at the lowest setting for about 5 minutes to start. You will gradually increase time over weeks and months, not within the first few days of introduction. Be mindful that our pup shouldn't walk more than the recommended amount based on their age. This means 5 minutes or so of walking for each month of age. Okay. Let's talk about another fun way to exercise your dog. I've set up a mini at-home lure course for my dogs, and they absolutely love it. They get a chance to run and chase the lure as it travels all over the course. Be sure to follow all the safety precautions and limit the number of runs your dog makes. Most at-home units will only allow a certain number of runs before the machine shuts off. This is to prevent your dog from overworking and injuring themselves and overheating. Yes, your dog can get heat exhaustion if you don't limit their activity. Dogs don't know when to take a break before their body overheats. Their adrenaline keeps them going, so they need your help to slow them down. Okay, moving on. You can tone activity level down a bit with the introduction of a mini obstacle course in your home or even in the yard. As always, we make sure this is fun and safe. For that reason, we won't be making our pups jump higher than they should. Now, we don't want to damage those growth plates that I mentioned earlier. You can use objects like chairs and crates, broomsticks, boards, cones, and other sturdy objects you find around the house. You don't have to spend a ton of money to have a lot of fun exercising your dog. Reward your dog as they go through the course. Go slow. Your pup may be shy or nervous about going on, over, or around these objects. Don't force them through, just take it slow and decrease difficulty if your pup is struggling. Okay, before I share my last tip, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you get notified when next week's video goes live. Okay, next up, we highly recommend decompression walks for all dogs. A decompression walk is different from a regular loose leash walk or even a heel walk. A decompression walk is meant to allow our dog to be a dog. This means they can explore and sniff, climb on or over objects such as fallen trees. Decompression walks are done in secluded, quiet locations without the presence of other dogs, people, or loud noises or traffic. This means you may need to find a secluded hiking trail or even a cemetery where you can walk around. We want our dogs to be able to focus on exploring without the interruption of distractions. Decompression walks are done on a 20 to 30 foot leash, not a regular 4 or 6 foot leash. We do not want the dog to pull us all over the place the entire time, but instead meander and walk around while sniffing and checking things out. Periodically, a check-in is required. This means the dog will stop and engage with us in some way. This could be with eye contact or coming all the way back to us. Now, reinforce check-ins by using your training treats and your verbal marker word. If your dog is pulling, we stop and wait for slack in the lead, as well as a check-in where the dog acknowledges that we are on the other end of the leash. Decompression walks should be at least one of the 2 walks you should be taking your dog on per day. Talk to your vet about flea and tick preventatives, not only when you go out on decompression walks, where you'll be walking in the woods, but for regular prevention too. All right, with all exercises, start your pup out slow. It's not a competition, and you don't want to injure them or make a negative association with a new experience or activity. All right, let me know in the comments below which exercise activity are you going to try with your pup.